A good old clean. Put a coffee on, and yeah. But yeah, I'm sorry it cut out. It was actually pissed down. I dropped my keys, I dropped my joint, and it was just a case of that. Great. But yeah, we're back now. Here we are. And someone asked earlier, great question. Do I skateboard? Now, sometimes I wish people would look at my account, but I understand. I personally just feel like typing, sitting around and typing "Do you skate" is flipping harder than going onto my account and clicking on it, and you'll see it says I'm a skateboarder who runs a skate company. I mean, I don't know how else to put it than that, bro. Do you know what I mean? But that's fair enough, I guess, because it didn't look like the actual workshop. That's why I've put workshop coffee in a chat, because fuck, like, you know what? Instead of writing Seth straight away, that'd be later on in his life. This would be just a chill morning, coffee, chat, talk about sponsorships and deals. Oh, I don't feel good then. Now, this is what Snoop Dogg has done before, right? You should just chuck them in the microwave. And I'm only doing that because I dropped half of mine anyway this morning. Anyway, what time is it? 2 seconds. I just threw out one of my meds. When I'm having... It gets so close to having my... I get so close to having my meds right now because of how early it is. So on the pinnacle, do I take my meds or not? But I choose not to, because if I have them now, then I crash way too early later on. Not ideal. But yeah, so as I say, yesterday I've been working on the app, which was literally going to be called Skate Addiction as well, the same as the website. First off, it'd be on the App Store. I just want to say it's not going to be like on Android as well. And that sounds really unfair. I know people have Android, so I apologise, but it's because I have iOS myself, and it's very expensive just because it's on the App Store anyway. But so I wanted to play for my community, like the clips, shop. You know, it's like it's like Skate Talk or YouTube for skating. Right? That is the plan. Why would you go on there to live stream or skate when you have a platform for it, like YouTube, any of the other ones? For a very good reason, because there's no ads. It would just be straight up clip after clip. There'd be a trending section. I can show people the proof of concept in there. I've literally already done it. I've put through the design. It's got the logos in there. It's got all the plugins and everything I need. That's my shop. So let's see if it's actually on here, because I screen recorded it, but I doubt my iOS is linked up. So if anything, I might pause it quickly, then I can quickly come back on and show everybody. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. Bear with. It's such a bum, bro. When I have my own business, I'm self-employed. But no, this is called genetics, G. It's called curly hair, ringlets. You don't typically brush ringlets out because you'll end up with broad, like a bush spot. Trust me. Not that it already is. But bums typically can't afford to make their own skateboard company. So, but thank you for your input, bro. Thank you for your input. Oh, I love it now. I'm just kidding. All right, okay, cool, you are, because you backfired and realised, oh shit, he's actually a CEO, self-employed. And backpedal, boy, backpedal. Bro, you wouldn't put "I'm joking" as a bum. Brush your hair, you bum. That's not a kid. That's not. Go brush hair, bro. It's a bit of a mess. That's a kid. Adding bum is a little bit different, and I know people will agree with me on that one. I don't give a shit. You know, I really don't. I'm just saying, I'm making a point. Also, don't judge a book by its cover, because you clearly had to backpedal very quick right then, didn't you? Because what am I doing? I'm working at 6 o'clock in the morning on my own business, and you are watching my life. Now, no dislike to anybody watching my live. I appreciate you guys so much, as I said. But don't judge a book by its cover. It's a perfect example of why not to. Wait, I like it. Is it curly? Good morning. Good morning, bro. Yeah. My hair curly. Yeah, I think just a tad curly. Not gonna lie. But see, guys, those are the people who actually love coming to lives and saying stuff. Sometimes it really does, for some reason. Like someone said to me yesterday, it's a perfect example. Anger is a fuel. you know. And sometimes I don't let anger fuel me through life because people saying you never make it, like that is not the way to go about making something in life. There's a good bit of fuel behind you, but you should also do it because you love it. You should also do it because you believe in yourself. You should also do it regardless of what people say, because if you use other people as like your crutch, when the moment they start being nice and start liking, what crutch have you got to work on? You're like, oh wait, no one's disliking me anymore. I don't know how to get angry, amped up about it. I know it's stupid, but it's very, very, very true. A psychology of it, anyway. Um, but I'm sorry, guys. I just find it so funny when someone says that, and then they realise you're self-employed, or you're a CEO, or you potentially, that's just being real, doing better than they are, and because they're watching a live and they're screwing you a bun. I'm not saying anybody watching a live will do anything. You could have a day off. You could just be before you go to work and you're getting ready, rate you. You know, 9 to 5 soldiers out here, well, whatever, just 12-hour shift soldiers. Like I love when people seem to think, what, just because now I'm here at home, I'm my own flat. It's expensive. I wouldn't have this without just living. No, you can't. You need to contribute some way. I was going to say, oh, you can do with council flats, but I mean, technically, if I was going to have my own business, they don't pay any of your rent then because you have enough of an income to pay your rent and everything else. Like, this is how this thing works. You don't just get to like window the system and make like mine's not off the books. I don't get cash in hand. Mine is a website. Mine is an app. Mine is a shop. So of course I have to put through all of. It's not like I try and do any like make something off the books and like keep it all hidden. Like I have to go by the book. I want to because it keeps it all nice and easy and stops any dramas happening. But you've got to report quarterly now as well, everybody. So like with a business, before you can report every half year, every 6 months, a year, depending on but no matter what, man, no matter what, even if you earn less, you have to report quarterly, which is just insane. Because before you could start out a business and focus on getting your first certain, like 12, say, take like a K, 12K, 1K, whatever, certain amount, and before you necessarily have to start paying back tax on that. Right? I love how people, because I growing up, I thought it was the first 12K or 60K, whatever it is you earn anywhere you go. And then after that, if you start a new job, but I'm pretty sure, isn't it, your whole, that amount of money in your adult life, if you start earning that amount, then you start paying. It's not like, because otherwise people just probably leave, get a job, leave, get a job, leave, get a job, never have to pay taxes the same. Nightmare. But yeah, as I say, I've had plenty of jobs, guys. I've actually probably had more jobs than like your average, and truthfully, more than your average American. But most Brits work from a younger age. Like you remember, we leave home at 18 typically, or we used to anyway, and we start school at 4, where Americans start school at 6. So I'm not trying to sit and have a little game. I'm just saying, like, typically, I mean, I had my first job when I was 14 or 13. And yeah, I know that you can get the same in America, but I'm pretty sure like the average person compared doesn't. Over here, granted, people in UK are not doing the same anymore. I mean, seriously, everything's really taking a dip. But I tell you why, it's because people aren't bothered to put up for this country anymore. That's literally what it is. They're sick of it. I understand it. I'm leaving with my business. I'm off and I'm gone. You know what I mean, like that's the truth of it. Still gonna be a British company because it was made in England, originally, and I am, and people will tell you this, I'm proud to be English, even though my family moved here, like, just before, my mum literally moved here, from Munich, Germany, Romania, and stuff like that. Sorry, South Africa, my dad would move through Romania, Germany, and stuff like that. Kind of both moved through the same place, just 5 years apart, and ended up in the same place in Wales. So my point is, this things obviously happen for a reason. If that didn't happen, I wouldn't be here. But, like, I do respect the British culture, and I do see it sort of dying. I mean, I remember like London 2012 marathon and stuff like this. Every country should be proud of what they have now, not maybe anything in the past. That's true. There's things to be proud of, things not to be proud of. You can't look at you as a person and go, I'm proud of my whole life entirely. There's things you've done you're not proud of. There's things you've done you are proud of. That's like a country. You can't sit there and go, well, at one point in the 1806, because did you know every country, even Africa countries and European countries, all took part in slavery. And actually, there were white slaves. This is a fact. People don't know, and you're not taught this because they like to just, I don't know, make us out to be some monsters. Bro, you are who you are when you're born. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. If you're a nice person, you're a nice person. It doesn't matter who your great granddad was, Jeremiah Jenkins. Like, right, it doesn't matter, does it? Like, just be you. And if we always link in the past, then we're always going to live in the past, and we're never going to be able to move forward. That's my belief. And as someone who is like, yes, fair enough, I'm white, but I am multicultural in that sense. Or is this not coming out? You know, there's black in my family from Claremont, South Africa. Well, that's not so well. It's sort of South Africa, but Johannesburg. And I mean, if they would have got together in South Africa, they would have been, you know what I mean, in some places, absolutely brutal. So they had to leave so they could be in love. And that's it. There's no, someone still to sit there and say, shit, I'm like, bro, it's done. I'm a mixture of all different things, quite literally. I just hate seeing how everything's going at the moment. It's kind of heartbreaking. That's a bit too strong if you ask me. Wait, no, sorry, one second, guys. Noah. What's up, Noah? So I was reading the first bit, I was like, the name's not Noah, but I guess, yeah, people put different names in, but that's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, man. Does that say fat wolf? I don't know, whatever. But yeah, that's definitely true. So I mean, like, you're not born a particular. You can't. I don't even think you can say your upbringing. You are taught it, correct? I was. I'm not going to get into what I went through as a kid. Doesn't matter. My point is, it was very, very bad to the point where all I can say is one of the worst cases that they've actually. And the reason it go for, I've got police documents, but the reason I was always a bit iffy about reading it is because it never went through in court properly. They said, "Oh, there's enough. Yeah, there's enough evidence for this and that, and we know all these things that happen." But because everyone was too scared, no one would say anything. But that was to them of evidence, sort of in itself, but just not enough because everyone just kept quiet. And obviously, when people like to, the reason I say my case is probably one of, and they've even said this to me, and they were shocked. They were therapists. Everybody else ever read it has actually gone, sorry, 2 minutes. I need a minute or something. It's crazy. It's only been a few people that have been able to kind of read it without breaking, but I bet you inside they have, and it breaks them more than it breaks me because it's my life. I'm used to it. I've lived it. I don't know any different, so I don't know what the boohoo's about. But I guess if you've got kids yourself and you read a sad, it's not got nice. But anyway, not like there's not boohoo's and Debbie Downers here. I just mean when people sit there and go, oh, but see, I was big once, and I'm not. I was. That don't seem like it because I'm skinny now. I put on muscle too at one point, but look how much loose skin I got, bro. Right? I was really big at one point, and then I skateboarded again, became an addict, lost a lot of weight through pain. Like, cause I said this in my spine, tore my ACLs, ripped meniscus, had a compound fracture. The bone came out of my arm. So yeah, a lot of them. I've been through an incredible amount of shit. But yeah, all I ever hear from people is, oh, I've been through so much, and this is why I am like I am. Or I watch an interview with a serial killer or somebody, and they're like, oh yeah, it must have been because our mum didn't like the fact that she used to beat my dad used to beat my mum, and I used to see that, and so what now? That's why you become the roadside strangler. I was like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense, bro. Like, for me, obviously, been through a lot, have psychopathy too, then still kind of baffled in that whole still really am. It baffles me. But there's something I really want to spread awareness on that people aren't aware of. You know how everyone thinks serial killers are psychopaths or sociopaths? That's actually false. Only 3 of them have been diagnosed with it. 3 out. All of them in history. And we're talking Richard Ramirez, we're talking Solar Nightstrip, whatever that, I can't remember all their names, but you know what I mean? We're talking about these evil people. 3 of them, of 3, were which was sociopaths. None of them were actually sociopaths, I believe. Maybe one of them was, 2 of them were psychopaths. So this whole thing of when I tell people I am, and I've got the diagnosis sheet to prove it, and people go, "Well, he's a bad person." I'm like, no, it's been heavily stigmatized, and that's what I need to change. I feel like I owe that to the most sociopaths won't give a shit. That's why it's never changed because they just don't care about people's opinion. But I think it's just not right. Like maybe we're all different, we're all the spectrum. I just think I don't care really. At the end of the day, people can think what they want to think. But I also think it's not very nice for someone like my adoptive mum who finds out that her son is a sociopath and just thinks Ted Bundy, the Joker, and all the fictional and non-fictional characters. And she's just like, oh no. So it's like felt like kind of my duty to try and kind of learn, you know, the real details of it. It was heavily stigmatized. Wait, no. Bro, I don't. I see. This is another thing I don't know what you're trying to get at. What is that? Is that like? I appreciate the last message and what you're saying, right? I just don't get why you're coming at me like that. What do you think I'm like? What? I'm confused. Only people typically come at me with that line when they think I'm either Jewish or not Christian. That is literally when people come at me with that line. That's the only time. Would that be correct? Because I don't know if new people knew this, right? But Jesus was a Jew. Don't know if people know that, right? People don't know this. Like, he wasn't a Christian. Jesus was a Jew. Um, and not all. I will just say this. It's like saying all this people's bad, all that people. No. So all Jewish people can't be bad. Like I know there's. I'm not even getting into it. My point is there's discrepancies. There's everybody can commit a bad act, and that was me being real, right? But that doesn't make every single person roped into something a bad person. Now, I'm not wearing a cap. I'm not by faith. I may have heritage, yes, but I'm not. My point to prove to people is that I'm a sociopath. I've been homeless, and I'm also a Jew. Well, not a Jew, but by ethnically, not um, spiritually or by faith. But still, would imply that my family wouldn't have been addicts because they would have been my family. It says they're good with money and they still did and they take your house and did. Bro, this is all lies. My family were junkies, barely living out of a flipping shed, and they have more genetics than I do. So, and then as I say to people, Jesus was a Jew. I'm not a Jew. Like, there's ethnicity, yes, but there's not. It's by faith. Um, I believe, and this is me, I think any religion becomes wrong when it tries to overstep, and this is a free country, well, it's not quite a free country, but close to it. But other countries saying it, I'm a white person, they're a white person, black person, doesn't matter, we're all the same. I'm saying it because they say it too, right? If your religion oversteps a mark, I have no care for it. That's the truth. If it oversteps a mark against humanity, because we also all have an opinion, we also all have a right to think, to process information, right? So that's all I'm saying, bro. Simple as. If you harm someone else, I don't care what told you to do it, I have no respect for you. Simple as. And the reason I'm also not a fully religious person is because yes, I've had to be violent. Yes, I know for a fact in moments I have to act out because yes, I'm a sociopath. My frontal lobe isn't developed, right? And it's not like Ted Bundy or Jeffrey Dahmer. As I said, only four serial killers in history actually have that diagnosis, and it's not like they just got misdiagnosed. They will all have it. No, that's a lie. It's been heavily stigmatized, and what makes me laugh is I know for a fact what I'm saying is changing. It's been and other people that be doing it too, but for the last 8 to 10, well, no, 8 years now, whatever, 7 years. I've had to diagnose it. Well, what do you know? It's not 8 years. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.